Chapter 979. After Xie Zhizhi stopped talking, Xie Han's expression didn't change one bit and he replied, "She's already dead." Seeing that he wasn't going to admit anything, Xie Zhizhi could only shrug and leave things unsaid. Hey, what are you two talking about in secret? Xie Zhizhi, I knew from the beginning that you were trying to steal ninth brother away on purpose. Lin Ke stormed over. What kind of secret are you two keeping and why are you trying to hide it from me? And what's going on with that child? Xie Zhizhi glanced at Lin Quebec. Little Yi is helping someone take care of the child for a couple days. Your ninth brother is only a temporary father. Lin Ke looked as though the world was turning upside down. Damn, isn't that too much? And ninth brother is just letting her do what she wants. Xie Zhizhi lightly smiled. Is ninth brother the one dating her or you? I didn't say it before, but isn't ninth brother's gap in aesthetics too big? Lin Ke murmured, then he suddenly remembered something. He paused before continuing. Last month, Demon's martial arts ranking at the Scarlet Flames Academy was taken. Xie Han's gaze remained calm even when he heard Lin Ke's words. Xie Zhizhi replied, there will always be new talent in every generation, especially in that kind of environment. For any record, there will always be a day when someone breaks it. Lin Ke expressed a bit of anger but couldn't refute Xie Zhizhi. He quietly said, there hasn't been any news from the old association head. Lately, the situation with the Dusk of Immortals has gotten pretty bad. At that moment, a set of footsteps came from the other end of the hallway. Yuan silently observed the three people huddled together. Why is it that you men like to go to the washroom in a group? She didn't even need to think to know that these two were definitely asking about Tang Tang. However, a streak of suspicion crossed her eyes. What did I just hear? Dusk of Immortals? What were you talking about? What immortals? Xie Han's eyes turned frosty and he headed over towards her. We were talking about your company. Lin Ke shrunk from Xie Han's cold gaze. Huh? What about my company? Yuan didn't understand. Xie Zhizhi didn't speak too quickly or slowly when he replied, in the near future, someone will likely give you trouble. It's best if you get more people on the production side. Yuan appeared suspicious of Xie Zhizhi's advice but replied, got it. Thanks for the tip. She was rising quickly in the entertainment industry, so she must have a few jealous competitors. From that reason alone, she already expected this. She just never imagined that Xie Zhizhi would suddenly give her a tip. It was likely because of Xie Han. Right, Boss Yi, remember to consider what I said. Xie Zhizhi lightly smiled. Yuan, this matter wasn't even something she needed to consider. Every company wanted Xie Zhizhi, and she did too, but the problem was that her small company couldn't possibly house such a huge star like him. Xie Han relaxed when he saw that Yuan changed her focus, but he still appeared tense. Little Rose Garden, after eating dinner, they returned home. Yuan tucked Tang Tang into bed then went to talk to Xie Han. Yuan, when will Mr. Mu be in the country? Xie Han, the day after tomorrow. Yuan nodded. Ah, do I need to prepare anything? Xie Han, no need. Asking him was equivalent to not asking at all. He was prepared no matter what came at him. Yuan frowned as she looked at Xie Han. What's wrong? I feel like something's off with you tonight. Are you upset? Yuan was probably the only one who could read anything from Xie Han's expressionless face and could even tell when he appeared upset. Chapter 980. Xie Han was speechless and he didn't reply. Instead, he turned towards her and gently left a kiss on her forehead. Yuan touched her forehead and unhappily murmured, "You're just trying to appease me." A trace of helplessness flickered in Xie Han's gaze as he kissed her on the lips. When he held her, he could feel the warmth of her body. Xie Han whispered next to her ear, "I'm really okay." Late at night, at a certain villa in Imperial City, Qin Feng solemnly looked at the girl in front of him. Mr. Mu arrives the day after tomorrow. Ruoshi, how are your preparations coming along? Qin Ruoshi appeared determined and confident. Father, don't worry. Everything is ready. Qin Feng stared at his daughter, who was dressed in an all-black martial arts uniform, before he nodded with satisfaction. Mr. Mu is drunken in love with China's martial arts. Your fighting abilities are so good that Mr. Mu will definitely have a good first impression of you. Qin Feng continued, coincidentally, the global martial arts competition is being held in China and Mr. Mu will be attending. At that time, you can also bring several masters along with you. Qin Ruoshi, yes, father. Any movement from that woman lately? Qin Feng asked. She's supposedly filming a movie right now, Qin Ruoshi replied. Qin Feng harumphed coldly. This type of woman could never draw Mr. Mu's attention. I must be getting old and even more muddled to allow the family head to mess around like this. The next morning, dazzling media, the employees were huddled in groups of 3 and 5 while gossiping. Vice President Yi is so amazing. The company hasn't been open for that long, yet he's already so famous in the entertainment industry, even Emperor Entertainment is helpless. They wanted to sue him before, but in the end, the thief was the one calling thief. The most surprising thing is how Emperor made a loud mess of everything, but it only helped Vice President Yi by giving his movie free advertising. If only Vice President Yi was still at dazzling media. What a pity. At that point, outside the door, Kai Yongsheng was walking in with his assistant. The two naturally overheard the conversation. The assistant instantly scolded them loudly, "Don't you all need to work? What are you all doing here gossiping? Do you want a pay reduction?" Kai Yongsheng glanced at them darkly. The employees, who had been gossiping endlessly, didn't dare to speak and the office was filled with a dead silence. Kai Yongsheng gloomily entered his office. The people who were talking about Yi by just now are all fired. Kai Yongsheng said angrily. The assistant appeared conflicted. Director Kai, a lot of employees quit already and there aren't enough people working in the company. If you fire them, I'm afraid. When Kai Yongsheng kicked Yi Bai out, he caused dazzling media's Luo Chen, Gong Su, and even Felix to leave with him. In the end, even the global star Han Xianyu followed suit. Because things had gotten too out of hand, the board had taken away Kai Yongsheng's position. However, not even a month had passed and Kai Yongsheng returned to Dazzling Media and became the general director, tasked with returning Dazzling Media to its former glorious self as atonement. Kai Yongsheng slammed the table hard. Damn! If it wasn't for Yi Bai, Dazzling wouldn't have become like this. It was originally a big slab of meat, but now, it was nearly down to the bare bones. He had no choice but to swallow it down. What infuriated him even more was how after leaving Dazzling Media, Yi Bai was doing better than ever. Wasn't this equivalent to slapping him in the face? Chapter 981. When the special assistant saw his actions, she rolled her eyes before she said beside Kai Yongsheng's ear, "Director Kai, competing with Yi Bai doesn't need to be so complicated. Everyone working in the entertainment industry today has a few connections at least. Yi Bai doesn't have any power nor does he know anyone in the city. He should only have a few security guards working for him. You should consider asking old Three Zhang for a favor. Get them to cause some trouble for Yi Bai's production so they can't even work on their movie." Kai Yongsheng went silent while his eyes glowed. Not a bad idea. Why didn't I come up with this? Even if they tried to investigate, no one could link this back to him. But is old Three Zhang willing? Kai Yongsheng frowned. The special assistant reminded him, "Director Kai, you've forgotten. Old Three Zhang has bones to pick with Gong Su. Now that Gong Su has ignored everyone and left Global Entertainment, if you coincidentally bring it to old Three Zhang's attention, he won't let this opportunity slip away judging by his personality." Kai Yongsheng's mood improved after hearing this. "You're right. Go, help me book a meeting with old Three Zhang." "Yes, Director Kai. I'll go right away." That night, at a 6-star hotel in Imperial City, a man with full abs was wearing a black vest. He impatiently asked, "What is it?" Did you need me for something? A female artist was pouring wine for Kai Yongsheng as she replied respectfully, Zhangji, there's something I came to ask if you could help me with. I've encountered a thorn who doesn't understand the rules and I was hoping to trouble you to educate them a bit. Old Three Zhang laughed coldly. General Director Kai, are you treating me like your lackey? Kai Yongsheng quickly replied, Zhangji, what are you saying? The entire industry in Imperial City knows what type of man you are. Global entertainment depends entirely on you for support. Old Three Zhang was originally a coach for the provincial Chinese boxing team, but he quit so he could make money off the streets. He washed his dirty earnings clean by opening a security company. All the security guards working at Global Entertainment were hired from his company. When Old Three Zhang heard this, his expression warmed up a bit. Kai Yongsheng continued on. Zhangji, remember that brat Gong Su, who tarnished your reputation in such a public place? Are you really going to let it go just like that? Aren't you letting him off easy? Old Three Zhang went silent and his eyes darkened. Before, he set his eyes on a female artist and wanted to forcibly take her. In the end, that brat Gong Su ruined his plans and humiliated him publicly. However, at that time, Gong Su was signed under Global Entertainment, so Chu Hongguang mediated between them. On top of that, Gong Su had his old man backing him up, so he had to silently take it. Kai Yongsheng gave his assistant a look when he noticed Old Three Zhang's abnormal expression. The special assistant immediately brought over a suitcase filled with cash. Old Three Zhang slowly glanced over the case. Of course I'll do Chairman Chu this favor. Kai Yongsheng quickly clinked glasses with him. Thank you, Zhangji. But Zhangji, you need to be careful. That brat Yi Bai is very sly and cunning. Kai Yongsheng warned him. Old Three Zhang downed the white wine in his glass in one go. Relax. This time, I'll go myself. Kai Yongsheng was overjoyed. Zhangji, if you go personally, there definitely won't be any issues. Ha, I really have to thank that brat Gong Su, otherwise Old Three Zhang wouldn't take this so personally. Humph, Yi Bai, let's see how wild you can still be. Chapter 982. That night, at a filming location for a life and death struggle. A group of people were nervously filming when a loud noise came from the locked entrance. Yi Mu Fan asked his fellow workers, what's going on? The employees glanced at one another before replying, it seems as though some fans have forcibly entered and the security guards are blocking them. Because of this, they've begun to scold us and are causing conflict. Yi Mu Fan headed towards the noise and saw some familiar faces. Yi Mu Fan's expression darkened. These people aren't fans, he recognized these people as underlings of Old Three Zhang. These people were clearly there to cause trouble. Incidents like these happened a lot in the entertainment industry. Rivals always hired others to pick fights over nothing and simply make a mess of things. The cost they were paying to rent their film location was charged by the day. If they were delayed in filming by one day, not only would they pay extra fees, but they would also delay the completion date of their film and they might even miss the best date for screening. If that happened, the losses would be immeasurable. People usually didn't bother big companies, but small companies like theirs often faced this kind of scenario. Yi Mu Fan walked over. Zhangji, how are you so free today that you came to visit? How about we find a place and sit down to chat? If there was room for discussion and if money could solve the issue, that would naturally be the best. Old Three Zhang coldly laughed and directly replied, there's nothing to discuss. F***K off. Yi Mu Fan's expression abruptly changed. After Old Three Zhang said that, he sat down in a nearby chair. Go bring that brat Gong Su out here to see me. Yi Mu Fan expressed some suspicion, then he gave some orders to Gong Su's assistant, Dong Zai. Go watch Gong Su and don't let him come out. If the main star became injured, the movie wouldn't be able to keep filming. Yi Mu Fan was about to talk to Old Three Zhang when his cell suddenly rang. Yi Wanwan was calling. Hey, Wanwan, Yi Mu Fan walked off to the side. Hey bro, today, Yi Wanwan was about to speak when a loud noise rang through the phone from Yi Mu Fan's side and she quickly asked, "What's going on over on your side? Why is it so noisy?" "It's nothing." Yi Mu Fan watched as those people prepared their machinery and urgently walked away a bit further. He tried to change the topic. "What did you want to talk to me about just now? Did someone come to make trouble?" Yi Wanwan calmly asked. She was just thinking about the matter yesterday and didn't imagine that someone would come today. "Bro, don't rush. Make sure all the artists leave, especially Gong Su. He's so impatient, so you have to stop him and prevent him from doing anything rash." "I'll quickly call some people over to help," Yi Wanwan said quickly. "People? Who are you going to ask?" Yi Mu Fan frowned. "Coincidentally, I know some masters. Try to stabilize the situation first. I'm going to immediately call them over." Yi Mu Fan, masters? Wanwan, you probably don't know, but old Three Zhang's people are mostly former Chinese boxers and can't be held off by ordinary people. Not to mention old Three Zhang's influence in the industry. Bro, I know my limits. Just try to stabilize things first and don't be rash. Yi Wanwan gave another warning to Yi Mu Fan before quickly hanging up. In the little rose garden, Yi Wanwan called the group of 5 out. "Yi Wanwan, there's something I need you all to deal with." The group appeared solemn. "Master, whatever it is, please give us the order. There's people trying to cause problems over at the production side and they need backup," Yi Wanwan replied. She pondered who would be most suited for the job. Chapter 983. Heidi angrily rolled up her sleeves. Who dares to have the guts to cause trouble for Master? But currently, Master was hiding her identity, so it made sense. "Let me think about who to send," Yi Wanwan murmured as she swept her gaze over the group of 5. "Master, me. Let me go, I'll kill whoever you want. Just say the word." Yi Wanwan didn't reply but the corners of her lips curved upwards. "You're only there to settle things. I'm not telling you to kill anyone." Judging by Yi Mu Fan's tone, the situation seemed fairly severe. Their opponents were former members of the provincial Chinese boxing team, so sending a more reliable and responsible person would be better. The best fighter amongst the group of 5 was Jiao Jiao, so why not send Jiao Jiao? Thus, Yi Wanwan ordered, "Jiao Jiao, head on over." Jiao Jiao immediately held up her skirt and happily curtsied before crisply replying, "As you command, Master." Yi Wanwan felt a bit regretful after making her decision. Say, isn't Jiao Jiao a bit too vicious? Whatever. Being vicious was also a good thing. At the filming location. Smash. Smash it all. An endless racket of shouting noises enveloped the area. Luo Chen appeared anxious. Was that Yi Ji on the phone just now? What did Yi Ji say? Yi Mu Fan solemnly replied, he said he would call some helpers over. Dong Zai asked, Yi Ji is going to get help? But they have so many people. Not to mention that Zhang Wei came personally. If Liang Exa and Dong came, he might consider letting us off. Yi Mu Fan didn't have any hope towards Yi Wanwan. She was only a girl, so how could she know anyone who could fight? Let me go make a phone call. Yi Mu Fan took a deep breath. He had some connections with people in the industry, but after his father lost his position, he didn't contact them anymore. Despite everything, he wanted to try. Old Three Zhang's gang of people were going overboard, so Yi Mu Fan didn't dare to overthink it and immediately made the call. The phone rang for a while but someone finally answered his call. Hello, Liang Ji, hey, who are you? Yi Mu Fan tried to sound as respectful as possible. Liang Ji, it's been a long time. Sorry to bother you. I'm Yi Mu Fan and I wanted to ask you for help. I currently have a conflict with Zhang Wei and I was wondering if you could be our mediator and help sort things out. The man over the phone seemed to suddenly recall who he was. Oh, I was wondering who you were. It's actually my good nephew Yi. Ah, It's not that I don't want to help you, but I'm preparing for the Global Martial Arts Conference right now and I've been training people in seclusion. I don't have the heart to interfere in such a trivial matter. I'm really sorry. Once the person over the phone finished talking, he didn't even wait for Yimu Fan to reply and directly hung up like an aquatic animal slipping away into the water. The other party clearly didn't want to get involved with old 3 Zhang over something so trivial and also knew that the present Yimu Fan was no longer the Yi family's precious young master. Based off his current status, Yimu Fan wasn't influential enough for Liang Xian Dong to feel compelled to help out. Yimu Fan grinded his teeth but couldn't think of any more solutions. He could only depend on Yi Wanwan. Wanwan had changed a lot and wasn't as reckless as she used to be. She sounded so confident over the phone, so maybe she really could find someone. As Yimu Fan kept worrying, Gong Su rushed out furiously from behind him, F***K. The one surnamed Zhang, aren't you doing all this because me? I'll take responsibility, so if you're looking for trouble then come directly at me. Chapter 984 Zhang Wei's gaze darkened. Ah, young Master Gong, don't be so impatient. Naturally, I haven't forgotten you. Today, he would definitely return the humiliation this brat made him go through before. Yimu Fan angrily scolded him, Gong Su. Who let you out here? Gong Su tossed his jacket to the side. F***K. They're already stepping all over our faces and I still have to hide inside? Why don't we just fight? Roll with the punches. Let's see who's really scared of who. Yimu Fan felt very stressed. This guy's personality was like fireworks. Once he was lit, he would explode. Yimu Fan grinded his teeth. Your Yi told you to obediently stay inside and not to come out. Gong Su looked at the mess in the surrounding area and his expression darkened. Even if you mention Yi this time, it's useless. He couldn't let the entire production team get implicated because of him. Gong Su became even more determined to head out and settle things by himself. At that moment, Luo Chen, who had been standing to the side, spoke. Yi cares about you. He's afraid you'll get hurt. Gong Su stopped at the words, Yi cares about you. Luo Chen took this chance and dragged him back as he continued speaking. Not to mention you're the star. If you get hurt, it'll impact the production of the whole movie. The props and equipment are negligible but you're the most important here, do you understand? When Yimu Fan heard that, he wanted to cry. Look how Luo Chen is so understanding. Can't Gong Su change his bad temper? Zhang Wei noticed Gong Su had stopped proceeding forward so he taunted, weren't you ferocious when you stole my girl? So what, you're a coward now. You're the coward. Gong Su furiously shouted back. Yimu Fan was afraid Gong Su wouldn't be able to hold back and quickly went to restrain him. Gong Su, just wait a bit. Yi Bai is already bringing people over. Gong Su took a deep breath. The one surnamed Zhang, just you wait and see. Zhang Wei laughed aloud. You're still crazy. You still think of yourself as the Gong family's second young master. Let this old man tell you that even if your old man showed up, he can't protect you today. Gong Su jumped up and shouted back, my old man my ass. I'll tell you a secret, my backing right now is even stronger than my old man. Just you wait, when my boss comes, you're dead. Yimu Fan, this guy. If his old man heard what he just said, he would die of anger. Zhang Wei couldn't stop laughing. Ha ha ha. Oh my, I'm so scared. His lackeys also started to laugh. Second young Master Gong, who's your boss? He wouldn't be that pretty boy called Yi Bai, would he? Ha 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 ha. Too funny. Zhang Wei sat back down in his chair. Fine, I'll wait. I also want to see what kind of people that strong boss of yours will bring to defeat me. Zhang Wei's expression was only filled with ridicule and no trace of fear. Right at that moment, several employees cried out in delight. He's here, he's here. Yi Ji came. That's great. As long as Yi Ji's here, things will be fine. Following the cheers, a white car parked at the side of the road. Everyone on the production team eagerly looked towards the car. Particularly Luo Chen, Gong Su, Dong Zai and everyone who had been with Yi Bai for so long. To them, Yi Bai could do anything and there wasn't any problem he couldn't solve. So when they saw Yi Bai's car arriving, everyone let out a sigh of relief. When Zhang Wei witnessed their reactions, his eyes dilated. That so-called Yi Bai was originally part of Dazzling, so he didn't have a full understanding of him but heard rumors claiming that Yi Bai was a bit evil. Was it possible that he could hire an amazing fighter? My darlings have waited so long but it's still going to take a bit longer for me to arrive, aha. Chapter 985 in the Little Rose Garden. After Yi Wanwan sent Jiao Jiao out, she was preparing to continue to accompany Tang Tang. However, she was still worried. Will sending Jiao Jiao alone be an issue? Yi Wanwan solemnly asked. The fatty beside her nodded. There is one issue, what? Yi Wanwan asked in reply. The fatty lightly coughed. There might be lives lost, people will die. Yi Wanwan frowned. She couldn't help but think that even if Jiao Jiao was an amazing fighter, the opposite party was also extraordinary. Song Chang replied, Master, when Jiao Jiao starts fighting, she easily loses control and can't hold back. Heidi tried to ask, oh right. Master, who's the opponent? Supposedly, the leader was a trainer for the provincial Chinese boxing team and the rest are former members, Yi Wanwan replied. The four went completely silent. This was like a fully leveled account massacring a beginner village. Meanwhile, at the filming location, no one saw Yi Bai but rather, they saw a young girl getting out of the car. The girl was wearing a pink maid uniform with adorable pigtails. She was a live version of a loli. Everyone waited, thinking that someone else would also come out of the car, but in the end, the little loli was the only who came out. Zhang Wei and his lackeys sized up the little loli. What was going on? Why is it a little girl? She should only be a messenger. There must be someone else following behind. Yi Mu Fan urgently asked the girl walking forward. Who are you? Where is Yi Bai? Yi Bai Ji told me to come. Jiao Jiao replied. Yi Mu Fan whispered when he asked, then where is the helper he hired? Jiao Jiao blinked. Do you mean the person who's going to deal with the situation? Yi Mu Fan nodded. That's right, Gong Su pushed aside Yi Mu Fan and quickly asked, why are you alone? Where are the boss's people? Are you here to send a message? Hey, aren't you supposed to be dead? Jiao Jiao asked out of curiosity when she saw Gong Su's face. Gong Su, what? Jiao Jiao cocked her head in confusion. Didn't you commit suicide with the eldest Miss Shen? Gong Su finally understood what she was talking about and suddenly felt exasperated. Little girl. That was a TV show. It's not real. How old are you? Shouldn't you be able to tell the difference between television and reality? He felt flattered though. This was the first time someone had watched his acting so immersively. No. Let's get back to serious business. Who are you exactly? Where's the person my Yi Ji hired to help? Gong Su hurriedly asked. Jiao Jiao replied, if you're asking about the person who's supposed to settle everything, that would be me and no one else. Gong Su, Yi Mu Fan, Luo Chen, the entire area went silent for a second. You're going to settle everything? You must be teasing, right? Gong Su had wholeheartedly waited for his Yi Ji to cross a rainbow with thousands of soldiers and horses to save him, but now, he was completely shocked with disbelief. Yi Mu Fan had his hands on his head. Little girl, don't joke anymore. What's really going on? What's the deal with Wanwan? How could she send a little girl who seems underage to such a dangerous place? When Zhang Wei and his lackeys heard their conversation, they were first surprised, then they began to laugh aloud. Ha ha ha. What did the little girl just say? She's going to settle things. Ha ha ha, I'm going to die of laughter. Sending a maid from home to settle things is really a first. Chapter 986. A man with a flower tattoo on his arm laughed loudly. Hey little girl, I'm asking because you're dressed like this, but are you actually a housemaid for Yi Bai? Jiao Jiao proudly nodded. That's right. Ha 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 ha. Damn. It's actually true. Zhang Wei and his lackeys laughed even harder. Zhang Wei and his lackeys weren't the only ones dumbfounded, so were Yi Mu Fan and the others. This girl is actually Yi Bai's housemaid. How could Yi Ji send you over to help? Gong Su couldn't help but tug on her sleeve. The little loli's expression appeared even more proud. That's because I'm the most amazing, so master chose me. Gong Su, Yi Mu Fan had a headache and he kept rubbing his temples. He just called Yi Wan again and it didn't go through, so he couldn't figure out what exactly was happening. Could it be that the helper Wan sent encountered an accident on the road? And what was up with this little girl? Yi Mu Fan didn't have time to think about it anymore and instead, he tried to calm things down. Zhang Ji, let's not beat around the bush. What exactly do you want here? Zhang Wei laughed. Ha, weren't you all still acting cocky just now? Didn't you say you were going to get someone to fight me? What, are you terrified now? You want to barter with me? If you want to discuss matters with me, fine. First have Gong Su kneel down, then kowtow to me 3 times and call me grandpa. Gong Su grinded his teeth. F***K. Call you grandpa? More like I'm your grandpa. Come at me. If you have the ability, come fight me. Jiao Jiao nodded seriously at that. That's right, if you have the ability then go hit him. Gong Su, please, I was simply taunting a bit. You don't need to be so serious, I don't really want to be hit. At that moment, Zhang Wei lost his last shred of patience and his eyes frosted over. Humph, you damn brat. I can tell you're all trying to fool me. This old man will do what you want then. Beat them up. Viciously beat them up. Don't let a single one go. Yes, boss. After receiving orders, a dozen of tall and bulky men began to surround them. Their security guards had already fallen in defeat early on. The remaining people were made up of Dong Zai and several other employees. The director was grasping the broken equipment, and his eyes were reddening from heartbreak. Their surroundings were a complete mess and everyone was scared. Originally, they thought Yi Bai would bring a helper over, but who knew that this kind of misunderstanding would occur. Zhang Wei smiled evilly as he walked step by step towards Gong Su. Ha, you damn brat, didn't you say you would bear all the responsibility alone? If you have the capability then don't dodge this. Zhang Wei frequently practiced Sans Ho and all the muscles and nerves in his body were bulging. He was 190 centimeters tall and when he stood up, he was like a mountain. Before Gong Su could reply, Jiao Jiao harumphed. Big guy, if you have the capability then beat him to death. Master said she couldn't let anyone die. The main objective was to protect this blonde-haired person, so she would definitely listen to her master's orders. She needed to hold back, but if the other party did anything to Gong Su, she would strike back. Jiao Jiao then turned to Gong Su and said, "You can relax. I will protect you." Gong Su was about to cry. Is she here to protect me or here to ruin me? Come on, hit him. Older sister, I'll call you older sister, okay? Just don't speak anymore, damn brat. If you don't want to die then get lost. You think this old man is playing house with you? Zhang Wei directed his fist towards Gong Su's face. Chapter 987, Oh my god, Gong Su's pupils dilated. It was over. His beautiful face. Isn't this too shameless? The first punch is directed at my face. At that moment, a promise surfaced in Gong Su's mind. He said he would be responsible for his flower-like beauty. If his face was ruined, Yi Ji definitely wouldn't want him anymore. The moment Zhang Wei made the first move, excitement flashed through Jiao Jiao's eyes and she let out a cute snicker. Gong Su! Yi Mu Fan shouted loudly. Luo Chen's expression instantly changed. Everyone appeared panicked and was afraid. If this punch connected, their movie wouldn't be able to finish. Right when Zhang Wei's fist was half a palm away from Gong Su, the sound of flesh colliding reverberated in the next second. The little girl's small open palm could be seen stopping Zhang Wei's fist in midair. How could that be? Zhang Wei's sardonic smile, which was still plastered on his face, stiffened as he stared at his own fist which wouldn't budge. How can this girl be so strong? Zhang Wei wasn't even able to react to the following bang when he was suddenly dragged by his own hand and thrown away like a kite. His whole body flew and he hit a column hard. He was like a broken doll as he slid down to the ground. Huff! Zhang Wei suddenly puked blood out. Everyone stared wide-eyed at the little lowly in the maid uniform who could throw such a burly man. This was practically a scene from a SFX film. Gong Su's mouth formed an O shape while Yi Mu Fan rubbed his eyes in disbelief. Cough 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 cough. It was only when Zhang Wei coughed weakly before his lackeys finally reacted and hurriedly rushed over to Zhang Wei's side. Boss, are you okay? Fuck. What kind of situation is this? A little housemaid actually sent our boss flying with one move. Everyone stared at the little girl with shock on their faces. Never had they imagined that a little girl could be so terrifying. Zhang Wei held his chest, his expression darkening to the extreme. How could I be beaten by a little girl? How could I suffer such humiliation? Computer, capture that damn brat for me. Everyone go. Even if she could fight, she was only one person. Fuck. This bitch. Everyone together. All the lackeys arrogantly shouted and rushed towards Jiao Jiao. Shua, the man with the flower tattoo, sent a punch towards the little lowly. The little lowly lightly reached out and grabbed his elbow. In the next second. The filming location was filled with sounds of bones breaking and one of the columns even collapsed. Yi Mu Fan watched as one person got beaten up after the other. At first, he was surprised, but now, it was beginning to turn into fear. Gong Su was becoming even more afraid as he watched. Damn. This little girl. No. Boss. Don't fight. Don't fight anymore. That's enough. If you keep beating them up, someone's going to die. The other party was incapable of hearing anything. In her current state, her eyes were red with excitement. She was like a horror film character that gave people goosebumps. Chapter 988. There were a total of 12 people who couldn't fight back at all. Throughout the entire process, it was a one-sided fight where they became sandbags. Everyone in the filming location watched with dumbfounded expressions. No one imagined that a cute and adorable little girl could be so frightening and vicious and could make the hairs on their arms stand on end. This was basically going beyond common sense. At that moment, Zhang Wei's 2 wrists were being stepped on to pieces. He was being tortured alive. Gong Su shuddered as he held on to Luo Chen. Mommy, I'm scared. He could only watch as the little lowly continued smiling and approached Zhang Wei. Didn't I already tell you? Master told me to come because I'm the most amazing. Zhang Wei had originally been fiercely putting up a fight, but now, only fear remained and he was writhing around in pain on the floor. The little lowly's shadow loomed over Zhang Wei's face. This isn't right. There's never been a survivor amongst those I've defeated. What? A murderous intent flickered through her eyes, which convinced Zhang Wei she was telling the truth. What's going on here? How could such a monster appear in Imperial City? Don't kill me. Don't kill me. Please, I'm begging you. It's my fault. I really know it's all my fault. I'll even kneel down. Zhang Wei's entire body was shivering weakly on the floor. A nasty smell appeared. He was actually scared to the point of pissing his pants. Under such murderous pressure, even though he did practice martial arts, he couldn't counter at all. But he was fairly capable in sensing that the situation was abnormal. He could still tell that the other party wasn't average. Zhang Wei knew Yi Bai was sly and thus, wouldn't come personally and would likely bring a lot of people over. Never had he imagined that this would be the result. But even if he knew now, it was already too late. Zhang Wei wasn't the only one anxious, Yi Mu Fan and the others were the same. If someone died, their production team wouldn't be able to get away scot-free. They wanted to stop her, but the little loli was simply too terrifying and no one dared to step forward. As for Zhang Wei's lackeys, they had already fled early on. Little girl, it's fine. Teaching him a lesson like this is enough. Yi Mu Fan hurriedly tried to persuade her, but the little loli was completely immersed in her own little world. Master said not to kill anyone. So, let's see. How to leave you half alive. Zhang Wei couldn't take it anymore and tried to get up and run away. The little loli let out a cute laugh and caught up in a flash as the sharp claws on her fingertips targeted Zhang Wei's vital points. It's all over. Yi Mu Fan appeared alarmed. Everyone watching went pale with fear when suddenly, a shadow slipped between the little loli and Zhang Wei. Bang! The little loli's hand was stopped by a palm before she could even touch Zhang Wei. Yi Wanwan's voice came from behind. That's enough, Jiao Jiao. Oh! Master, you came. Once the little loli saw Yi Wanwan, her eyes glittered and she reverted back to her previous innocent appearance. Yi Wanwan went silent. Luckily, she kept worrying and came. Didn't I specifically order her not to kill anyone and only settle the situation? Chapter 989. Everyone let out a sigh of relief once Yi Wanwan appeared and was able to stop the terrifying little loli with one move. Zhang Wei nearly fainted from fright. His forehead was covered in sweat as he looked at Yi Wanwan as though she was his hero. Yi Bai. The little girl was pretty terrifying, but the pretty boy Yi Bai was actually able to block her. Wah! Yi Ji is so handsome. Really handsome. All the employees at the filming location began to excitedly scream. Yi Ji, you finally arrived. Everyone was nearly scared to death. Gong Su passionately rushed over and as a result, he clumsily tripped on something and let out a cry because he sprained his ankle. Yi Wanwan was speechless and hurried over to help him up. Be more careful. Can't this child try to be more reliable? Yi Ji, this little girl is really your housemaid? Gong Su asked with a scared look on his face. Yi Wanwan, that's right. Gong Su looked like he didn't believe her. That can't be. Are house services this year that terrifying? You can even hire this kind of person. Go get Dong Zai to help you apply some medicine. Yi Wanwan helplessly called Dong Zai over to support him. Afterwards, Yi Wanwan asked Yi Mu Fan, did anyone get hurt? Yi Mu Fan replied back, other than the equipment that was broken and Gong Su, no one else got hurt. Yi Wanwan, alright, so no one got hurt on their side besides Gong Su who sprained his ankle on his own. Jiao Jiao's mission was completed with acceptable results even though she did go overboard. Yi Wanwan observed the area that was filled with wailing, pitiful lackeys and Zhang Wei, who had 2 broken wrists and peed himself. She rubbed her temples because of the headache she was having right now. Jiao Jiao, didn't I tell you to only stabilize the situation? The current situation was stabilized into a wreck. Jiao Jiao. This terrifying girl who could scare people to death is called Jiao Jiao. When everyone heard this name, their expressions became hard to describe. Jiao Jiao delicately murmured, Master, I was preparing to leave him half alive. Yi Wanwan, half alive. Really, he's going to be half alive. Yi Wanwan helplessly glanced at Zhang Wei. Zhang Ji, I'm sorry to have offended you like this. Yi Wanwan said as she reached out, wanting to help him get up. In the end, Zhang Wei acted as though he saw a ghost and crawled away. Don't come over here. Yi Wanwan rubbed her nose and with a warm expression. She said, Zhang Ji, I'm a businessman. If others don't wrong me then I won't wrong them. Just now, my underling was a bit too heavy-handed so I apologize. All his lackeys, even the employees of the production team were all speechless. A bit too heavy-handed. This is called a bit too heavy-handed. Sorry. Boss Yi. It was me who failed to recognize Mount Tai. I'm sorry I offended you. You're the bigger man, so please forgive me. I actually didn't want to give you any trouble, it was Kai Yongsheng, that brat who was stirring up trouble. Zhang Wei directly sold out Kai Yongsheng. Zhang Wei's gaze was cautious. If Yi Bai didn't have some strong power backing him, he couldn't possibly have hired such a formidable fighter. This Yi Bai looked helpless and weak, but in reality, he wasn't so simple. That one move which he used to block the little lowly appeared calm like the wind, but only he knew just how terrifying it really was. If he was the one who countered that move, he would have instantly died from it. Chapter 990. Ever since Yi Wanwan began to train seriously to recover her abilities, her fighting skills had been improving by the day at such a fast pace that it was unspeakable. However, her practical use of her skills was a bit unstable. Under intimidation from the little lowly, Zhang Wei brought along all his lackeys to apologize to her and swore never to cause any more trouble. Afterwards, they cleaned up the entire filming location and respectfully promised to pay for all damages. Boss Yi. You can relax. I will pay for everything. Tomorrow, I'll send someone over. If you want to use any of my properties, you can use them for free. Zhang Wei stuttered out an apology while his lackeys huddled behind him. Yi Wanwan smiled. Thank you then. No problem. As long as boss is satisfied. Then can we leave? Zhang Wei sputtered. Of course. Zhang Wei let out a sigh of relief as though he survived a disaster. He glanced cautiously at the little lowly. Might I ask for your great name and which martial arts you practice? Based on her skill, she must either be from a top dojo or from a martial arts family. But she used a vicious style of fighting, so she might even be a national-level soldier. To be able to send this kind of person to settle a problem, simply having money wasn't enough. Jiao Jiao stood by Yi Wanwan. I don't come from any stream of martial arts. I belong to master. Zhang Wei appeared awkward and didn't dare to pry further. In a hidden corner, an assistant who was sent by Kai Yongsheng had watched the entire show from beginning to end, and now Zhang Wei and his lackeys were leaving. The assistant then quickly left in their car. Since the conflict had come to an end, the employees at the filming location also began to leave. Yi Mu Fan pulled Yi Wanwan to the side. Wanwan, who exactly is that girl? There were too many people earlier, so he wasn't able to ask, but now he no longer held back. Oh, she's actually someone my boyfriend hired to assist me. He said she's amazing at fighting. Yi Wanwan decided to pass the blame along to somebody else. Yi Mu Fan was speechless and he frowned. Yi Wanwan said before that her boyfriend worked at C Corporation, so could she have some connection to the C family and Yi Wanwan hired the girl through them? Also, what was up with Wanwan's fighting skills? He clearly saw that Wanwan stopped the girl's attack. How are you able to fight so well? Yi Mu Fan's gaze was a bit complicated. Yi Wanwan didn't sense anything was amiss and replied, I've always been able to fight really well. Did you forget when we were young that Daddy hired a teacher for us? I learned quickly and even the teacher praised me for my potential. It was just that I was lazy and didn't want to exercise, so I didn't improve. But in the past half year, I felt like I should be able to fight a bit, so I've been training. Yi Mu Fan went silent and a heartache flickered through his chest. He tousled the girl's hair. Guji Yi is so useless. If he was strong enough to protect his little sister, she wouldn't need to suffer or work so hard. Yi Mu Fan had already defied the heavens by changing from his former rich playboy self to his current self. Yi Wanwan spent a lot of time with the C family and had to worry about school exams and homework. Ever since she established the company, the responsibility of management and miscellaneous tasks all went to Yimu Fan, and he was still able to complete them so well. Chapter 991. The most important thing wasn't what he accomplished but the fact that he worked hard when he decided to do something. This was the change she noticed in Yimu Fan. Yi Wanwan laughed as she replied, "That's not true. Guji is the world's best Guji." Wanwan, Yimu Fan's eyes became wet and he swore in his heart that he would work hard to get back everything that originally belonged to them. Late at night at Kai Yongsheng's personal villa. Kai Yongsheng had a fresh female artist in his arms as he excitedly awaited good news. Finally, his phone began to ring. His assistant was calling. Kai Yongsheng took a sip of red wine before he spoke. "How are things? Yi Bai, Gong Su, and those other brats must have gotten beat up until they peed themselves." The phone went silent for a while before the assistant replied, "Director Kai, that an incident might have happened." Kai Yongsheng absent-mindedly said, "Incident? What kind of incident?" The assistant, "How should I reply? Should I say that the ones who were beaten up until they peed themselves were old Three Zhang and his lackeys? What is it? Talk." Kai Yongsheng impatiently rushed. The assistant could only tell the truth. Yi Bai was already prepared and had a helper settle things. Old Three Zhang and his people were all beaten up. Kai Yongsheng was shocked. "What did you say?" "But Zhang Ji went personally." "He did go personally." Old Three Zhang was beaten up until he broke several limbs and nearly died. "He also peed his pants from fear," the assistant replied. "Bullshit. How's that possible? When it all happened, I was standing at the side. I saw everything with my own eyes." "Did Yi Bai manage to get Liang Xan Dong to help?" Kai Yongsheng asked cautiously. "No. It wasn't Liang Xan Dong's people. He only sent a woman. But this woman was extremely vicious and single-handedly defeated everyone old Three Zhang brought with him. My guess is that her backing isn't weak." Yi Bai clearly made preparations early on, the assistant said as he wiped his sweat. Cough, he knew Yi Bai wasn't a good person, so how could he have overlooked this? If he knew earlier that things would end like this, he wouldn't have used this kind of tactic. Kai Yongsheng's temper exploded and he threw the glass of wine in his hand. "Bastard! What do you mean his backing isn't weak? A bunch of guys can't even defeat a single woman. Old Three Zhang must be getting old." The assistant personally witnessed everything and was rather frightened, so he couldn't help but say, "Director Kai, why don't you just let it go?" No matter how Yi Bai hired such a powerful fighter, pressing on like this isn't the solution. Yi Bai only knows a few tricks and isn't even worth mentioning. If he was really capable, why didn't he go find a more impressive backer after leaving Global Entertainment? After he left Global, he actually got together with that rich playboy who was kicked out from the Yi family. Who doesn't know that the true young master of the Yi family is now Yi Shaoan? In comparison, Yimu Fan is a fool who only knows how to dream. Director Kai, even if you don't make a move, that Yi Bai still won't be able to succeed. Kai Yongsheng was filled with anger because things hadn't gone as he hoped. When he heard this, his expression was still ugly. If violence doesn't work, we'll do this more civilly." Han Xianyu and Luo Chen both didn't have any flaws, but Gong Su had plenty that he could easily use. "Kai Yongsheng, tomorrow, contact Lei Zi's office. Your goal is to diss Gong Su." "I don't believe," the assistant could only reply, "Yes, Director Kai." Chapter 992. After returning to the Little Rose Garden, Yi Wanwan called over the group of 5 for a small meeting. Yi Wanwan specifically told them that in China, she was a businessman who needed to adhere to the law. She couldn't fight and kill so easily. Yi Wanwan only relaxed once all 5 of them wrote it down in their little notepads. The sound of a sports car came from outside the door. Si Han had finished his social function and returned home. Due to Tang Tang, Yi Wanwan talked to Si Han. He agreed to try to come to the Little Rose Garden every night so they could pretend to be a family of 3. Thankfully, Si-han was willing to accommodate her. "Ajo, you're back." Yi Wanwan looked at Su-yi, who was behind Si-han. He was holding several bags in his arms. Yi Wanwan's gaze swept over them and noticed there's some flowery toys. "Oh, where did these come from?" "Xia Zhizhi gifted these," Si-han replied. Yi Wanwan was both surprised and speechless. It was actually Xia Zhizhi. I never imagined that megastar Xia was so considerate. Su-yi wanted to say that only a small portion was from megastar while the rest were picked out by the ninth master, but he ended up not speaking. Si-han saw that it was late yet Yi Wanwan was still awake, so he asked, "Why aren't you sleeping yet?" Yi Wanwan shook her head. "Someone caused some trouble at the filming location, but it's nothing, everything's been settled." Yi Wanwan decided to simplify her story. Afterwards, Yi Wanwan wrapped her arm around Si-han's arm and said, "Hey, there's some people in this house that need rehabilitation. They're so impulsive and aggressive when they handle matters. How are they not able to stop once they start fighting?" Si-han looked at her with an expression that was hard to read. Yi Wanwan blinked. "What? Did I say something wrong?" "Si-han, it's nothing. As long as you remember what you just said, then it's fine." Yi Wanwan was confused. Why did he say something so strange? "Where's Tang Tang?" Si-han casually asked. "Already sleeping." Yi Wanwan replied as she pulled Si-han over to sit on the sofa. "Ajo, I have something to discuss with you, Si-han, what is it?" Yi Wanwan blinked innocently then said, "We're both so busy with work. Don't you feel like Tang Tang is too lonely all alone at home?" Si-han glanced at her. "So? So let's let Tang Tang get a pet. Pets can cultivate the love in children and can keep Tang Tang company, isn't that great?" Yi Wanwan excitedly suggested. Si-han replied, "What kind of pet do you want? I'll have Sui go buy it for you." Yi Wanwan waved her hands to indicate no. No need. It doesn't need to be that troublesome. Don't we have a live animal?" Si-han went silent and frowned as he stared at her. Yi Wanwan instantly continued, "We have Great White. How about you directly bring Great White over to accompany Tang Tang? Tang Tang will definitely love it." Si-han, Yi Wanwan excitedly said, "Great White is so cute and obedient and docile. How great would it be if he could accompany Tang Tang? Isn't my idea amazing?" Su-yi, who was quietly organizing things, "You actually want Si Lute as a pet? Miss Wanwan. Do you even understand what the word docile means?" He felt that ninth master definitely wouldn't agree to a request that ridiculous. Si-han, Su-yi, go prepare Great White. Su-yi, yes. Chapter 993. The next morning. Gong Su was in the headlines again. The popular topic that was trending was hashtag Gong Su's repertoire of bad acting hashtag. It was obvious that this was another planned attack to diss Gong Su as well as a chance to drag down Yi Wanwan's movie, A Life and Death Struggle, by predicting it would be a wreck because of Gong Su. Ever since Yi Wanwan revealed Gong Su's true personality, no one was able to falsify rumors about him anymore. As for his acting, until now, even Yi Wanwan was incapable of helping him. Han Xianyu was an idol with abilities and was practically perfect. Luo Chen, who debuted at the same time as him, had acted in director Song Jin's Terrifying Dragon and again in Terrifying Dragon 2, which proved he had real talent. Only Gong Su wasn't able to escape his title of Flower Vase. Even though the majority of celebrities lived off their visual appearances and didn't have any real skill, Gong Su's acting was way too off and he stood out too much. If one had to be honest, his acting was so bad that anyone who watched would remember. His acting was so bad that no one in the industry could compete with him for worst acting. If one mentioned bad acting, everyone would first think of Gong Su. Yi Wanwan swiped through the forums while watching the trending video that Jiao Jiao was secretly watching. It was a video which listed and showed clips of all Gong Su's bad dramas. This child. Aren't her tastes too unique? She especially loved really tragic and dramatic scenes. As a result, Gong Su's scenes became her favorite. Besides the trending disses towards Gong Su, there was also a post from Gong Su's Weibo which he uploaded not too long ago. Damn! You all only know how to diss me all day. My acting is bad? That's because I don't care. If I become serious, I would even be scared of myself. Isn't it just acting? Isn't it just ability? Then with my next film, I'll win the Golden Orchid for Best Actor and throw the award in your faces. If I can't do it, I'll livestream eating shit with Luo Chen. This post is my oath and I'll never delete it. This Weibo post gave Yi Wanwan a massive headache. Gong Su, this child, always has to make such a commotion. The main point is if you're going eat shit, fine. What are you doing dragging Luo Chen into this? When Gong Su posted this, the comments section became flooded instantly. Damn, ha ha ha. What did I just see? There must be a problem with Weibo. Gong Su actually claims he'll win Best Actor. This is the biggest joke I've heard all year. Gong Su must have gone mad, right? How could he say this kind of thing? Shouldn't he know best how bad his acting is? Isn't the main point why Gong Su has to drag Luo Chen into eating shit with him? Ha ha ha, even though he's bluffing too much, why do I suddenly think Gong Su is actually kind of cute? It was good that Gong Su's relationship with his fans wasn't bad. Besides a few mean comments, the majority was kind-hearted teasing. Even Luo Chen's and Gong Su's CP fans were joining in on the fun which controlled the overall atmosphere. Yi Wanwan had just finished flipping through the forums when her phone rang. Dong Zai was calling her. Yi Ji, it's over. Gong Su made a mess of things again. Yi Wanwan exhaled. I know. I've already seen it. I'm sorry, Yi Ji. I couldn't stop him. Yi Ji, what do we do now? Su Ji would rather die than delete that post. Will he really need to live stream eating? Yi Wanwan laughed. Don't be so pessimistic. Who knows, Gong Su might really be able to win Best Actor. Dong Zai sounded as though he wanted to cry. Yi Ji, don't joke anymore. Shouldn't I know best what kind of acting my artist is capable of? Chapter 994, Yi Ji, what exactly should we do? How do we respond to the public? Dong Zai helplessly awaited orders. Yi Wanwan replied, you don't need to make any response. Even if you respond, it'll be of no use. Dissing Gong Su's acting is something that happened in a day or two. There's only one solution for this matter, Dong Zai. What is it? Yi Wanwan's eyes glowed as she replied, face slapping them with talent. Yi Wanwan paused before continuing, have Gong Su focus on acting. Everything else that's going on doesn't matter. As long as Gong Su's acting was acknowledged in the future, all the hazing and disses from today would only make Gong Su even more famous later on. Dong Zai didn't have any hope, but after thinking about it, this was all they could do. Alright, I understand, Yi Ji. Si Han was watching from behind and when he saw the girl glowing with self-confidence, his expression softened. When Yi Wanwan heard footsteps coming from behind her, she turned to look over. Ajio, have you seen Tang Tang? Si Han thought about it. No. Yi Wanwan shook her head in thought. That's weird. Where did that child go so early in the morning? Yi Wanwan and Si Han headed towards the dining room together. Once they entered, there was a sudden bang. Rose petals showered down from above and balloons of all colors filled the room and flew towards the ceiling. It was so pretty. The dining room was filled with flower petals and colorful balloons. The scene was like a dream. What's going on? Yi Wanwan jumped, not understanding what happened. Si Han curiously glanced around the dining room. The couple then saw Tang Tang walking towards Yi Wanwan with a bouquet of roses that was bigger than him. Mommy, the little fellow was wearing a little suit and the bouquet of roses nearly covered his entire face. Yi Wanwan felt so surprised. Tang Tang. What is this? The little fella seemed a bit embarrassed as he held the bouquet above his head and said, "This is for you, Mommy." Yuan was stunned then accepted the big bouquet. She was both surprised and happy. "Thank you, baby. This was all prepared by you?" The little fella nodded, seemingly nervous. "Yeah. All the good GEs and GIGs helped me prepare the balloons and flower petals while I had Uncle bring me roses from home. Uncle said Mommy likes roses the most. Does Mommy like it?" "Of course I love it." Yuan replied without any hesitation. "Wow. Isn't he too sensible? He actually prepared a surprise for Mommy. This time, I'm truly surprised. Such a warm-hearted son. Even if I searched with a lantern, I wouldn't be able to find one like him. Is it okay for me to take advantage of him like this? But it's not like I'm treating him badly either." Afterwards, Yuan thought about it. "But, is today a special occasion?" The little fella replied back seriously, "Yes, today's a really special day. It's a special day." But after thinking it over, Yuan still couldn't come up with any particular holiday. Tang said, "Today is the 7th day since I met Mommy. Every day that Mommy and Tang spends together is a special day." After Yuan heard this, she felt so moved and bent down to hold the little fella in her arms. "Thank you, baby. Mommy likes you the most." The little fella's eyes glittered. Tang also likes Mommy the most. Han was standing behind the mother-son pair. Chapter 995 How does it feel to watch another male woo your own wife with flowers and a confession? How does it feel to watch another male woo your own wife with flowers and a confession? The emotions Han was currently experiencing were difficult to express in words. The little fella leaned against his mommy's shoulder. "Mommy. Will Mommy leave Tang in the future?" Yuan tousled the little fella's hair. "Of course I won't." Yuan suddenly felt emotional. She felt a bit anxious because none of this truly belonged to her. There was going to be a day when Tang found his birth mother and wouldn't treat her like this anymore. "Oh. I can just hide him and raise him myself." Yuan even considered that possibility. It was still morning and the family of 3 sat together at the breakfast table. Yuan propped up her chin with both hands as she stared at the father-son pair with satisfaction. "Sigh, what more could I ask for when I have such a perfect life?" Yuan thought this as she picked up a poached egg. She was about to put it on someone's plate when she met 2 familiar gazes. Ah! Yuan's chopsticks froze in midair. Because she wanted to be able to live, Yuan used her left hand to pick up another poached egg and placed both eggs simultaneously with both her hands onto the plates of the father-son pair. After receiving the poached eggs, their piercing gazes retreated. Yuan secretly wiped her sweat. Ah! Aside from one thing, everything else is perfect. That one thing being how the father-son relationship seems strained and competitive. "Oh right, Tang. Because Mommy and Daddy are always working and don't have time to accompany you, Mommy found an adorable pet for you to play with," Yuan said. Tang naturally hoped to stay by his mommy's side but didn't want to give her any trouble. Although the little fella wasn't interested in dogs or cats or even bunnies, he still obediently nodded. "Thank you, Mommy. Such a good child." Yuan tousled his hair. "I'll introduce you to him later. You will definitely love him." As she said this, footsteps came from the door. Miss Wan. Su-yi had only received his orders last night, but he rushed over in the morning. "Housekeeper Su, you came. Where's Great White?" Yuan immediately peered behind Su-yi. Su-yi lightly coughed then hesitantly glanced over to his master for help. Originally, he wanted to say something to his master but decided against it. It was useless to ask his master. Thus, Su-yi directly asked Yuan, "Miss Wan, are you absolutely sure you want to bring Great White over? Won't he scare the little young master?" Yuan instantly frowned. How could he? Great White is so cute. Quickly bring Great White over. I really miss him. Su-yi, alright, then I'll go. Say, why do I feel like Miss Wanwan is the one who wants to play with Great White more than the young master? Tang Tang tilted his head in confusion. Great White? Yi Wanwan nodded. Yes, that's his name. Is it a bunny? Tang Tang asked. The mother-son pair were still talking when Su-yi returned, but this time, a large snowy white animal was following behind him. Roar dash, the white tiger let out a low roar as it slowly walked in. Chapter 996. The white tiger's fur glistened under the light. Its physique and aura differed from tigers raised in zoos and circuses. This tiger was a vicious beast and was a bloodthirsty killer. However, a pink bow tie was tied around the great white tiger, which completely ruined its image. This was such a familiar bow tie, such a familiar scene. Su-yi stood to the side with dark bags under his eyes as he wiped his sweat. In order to complete the task, he searched all night on the mountain for the tiger, then he had to risk his life just to put the bow tie back on it. Once Tang Tang saw the big white tiger, his original hesitation turned into anticipation and astonishment. He never imagined that the pet his mommy talked about would be a tiger. Tang Tang, why don't you greet Great White? Don't be scared. Great White is super cute and obedient. Yi Wanwan said. In her previous life, she was always scared of Great White because Great White really was terrifying. She was afraid she would be eaten but eventually discovered that Great White was exactly the same as Si Han. They both only appeared terrifying on the surface. Su-yi was speechless. Don't lie to children. Roar, just as Su-yi thought this, a loud roar erupted beside him. In the kitchen, a fatty sneezed. Damn. This tiger must have been raised in the wild. Tang Bin clicked her tongue and said, the Bengal white tiger is one of the strongest types, and also one of the most vicious tigers. Tang Tang nodded and got down from his chair to head towards the big white tiger, but when he got down, he went too fast and accidentally twisted his leg. Tang Tang, are you okay? Yi Wanwan frantically asked. Mommy, I'm fine. The little fella managed to reach the big white tiger. Nice to meet you, I'm Tang Tang. Roar, the white tiger roared again. Its pale blue eyes were laced with caution and curiosity as it sized up the little milk bun. Tang Tang stood in front of the big white tiger and tilted his head as he observed the pink bow tie before he pointed at it. Is this uncomfortable? Roar, the big white tiger howled lowly. Thus, the little fella reached out and pulled off the bow tie. Su-yi appeared very afraid as he witnessed that. Is that better? The little fella asked. Roar, this time, the volume of the white tiger's howl had lowered by several degrees. Tang Tang revealed a big smile. Great White, your voice is really nice to hear. Su-yi, nice to hear. This child was so similar to Miss Wanwan in this respect. Mommy, can I take Great White to the garden to play? Tang Tang glanced enthusiastically at Yi Wanwan. Of course you can. Go quickly. Seeing that Tang Tang liked his new friend, Yi Wanwan didn't worry anymore. Tang Tang asked Great White for his opinion. Great White, how about we go to the garden? Great White roared lowly back in reply. It went to stand beside Tang Tang and suddenly nudged his leg. Great White, what is it? Tang Tang didn't understand what Great White wanted. Roar, Great White bent forward. Using his big furry head to nudge his leg, it hinted at Tang Tang to crawl up. Great White, thank you. Tang Tang climbed up carefully. After Tang Tang settled onto its back, Great White then got up and slowly walked to the garden, carrying the little milk bun. At this moment, Su-yi was watching in awe. Could this training ability run in the family? That can't be. This child isn't even Miss Wanwan's. Chapter 997, 997. Not only was Su-yi shocked, so was Yi Wanwan. Never did she imagine that Tang Tang and Great White would get along so well. In the garden, Great White walked steadily until it was beneath a large tree. He then bent down and let Tang Tang get off. Tang Tang reached out to hug Great White and thanked the big white tiger with a kiss on its forehead. Yuan Wan watched as the little milk bun and the big white tiger got along so happily and her heart melted. She quickly took out her phone to take a picture, then excitedly said, "That's great. I always knew Tang Tang would like Great White. Si Han, you see this, right? Great White also likes Tang Tang." Tang Tang hurt his leg and Great White voluntarily went to carry him. "I want to keep Great White. I also want to keep Tang Tang." Si Han didn't reply. Keeping Great White is fine, but as for keeping Tang Tang, he's someone else's child. Yuan Wan meekly walked up to Si Han. "I don't want to return Tang Tang." Si Han's fingers combed through her hair and he gently asked, "Didn't you say you don't like kids?" Yuan Wan couldn't reply to this at first but then responded matter-of-factly, That's not the same. I don't like kids, but Tang Tang is my son. I gave birth to him." Si Han, she's too immersed in her role. Yuan Wan sighed. "Actually, Tang Tang is so similar to you that I really suspected he could be your illegitimate child. But now, I think I thought about it too much." Si Han looked at her. "Why?" Yuan Wan blinked. "Because if Tang Tang is your son, it doesn't make sense how his EQ is so high." This was the millionth time Si Han had been dissed over his EQ. Yuan Wan thought about it again and quietly continued, "Unless he got it from me. As expected of my son." She then complained, "Even Tang Tang knows to give me flowers. As a boyfriend, don't you have anything to say about that?" Si Han was speechless. He looked at the girl whose gaze could captivate everyone and he replied, "Did you ever give me the chance?" When Yuan Wan heard this, she thought about it and was surprised with herself. It seems like I was the one who kept giving him flowers. I invited him to the movies first. I also prepared a candlelit dinner for him. Everything a boyfriend should do, I've done it all. So that's the truth. I've lost out," Yuan Wan murmured. From the beginning, she'd been so used to trying to curry favor with the great devil. What a tragedy. Si Han saw her unhappy expression and amusement flickered in his eyes as he bent down towards her. As he gently gave her a soft kiss, he pressed his hand against the back of her head. The kiss only ended once Yuan Wan ran out of breath. She could feel his breath on her lips when he spoke. "Are you still losing out?" Yuan Wan stared at the cold and seductive face before her that was also as beautiful as the cherry blossoms in March. She was in a trance at first, then she kept shaking her head. "Not a loss, not a loss, not a loss at all, damn. Did Si Han undo his seal or something? Isn't he supposed to be disinterested in human interaction? He is practically, a male fox demon. He already has the looks and now he has the EQ. A fox demon is usually female and known to be a seductress." Chapter 998. Before she could lose control, Yuan Wan fled upstairs. She really respected herself in her past life. Faced with such good looks, she was actually able to still remain loyal like a dog to Gu Yuze. With such frightening determination, she was practically Zhanhua. After Yuan Wan entered her room, a notification popped up on her phone. It was a text from nameless Nye. "Nye Hollow Pit, famous Yi, how's Tang Tang today? Is he still doing okay?" Yuan Wan glared at her phone screen and ignored it. "Nye Hollow Pit, congratulations, hope you become lucky and get rich, red pocket." Yuan Wan glanced at the red pocket then opened it with her finger before replying, "Famous Yi, he's doing pretty well. I just got him a pet." "Nye Hollow Pit, a pet? I forgot to tell you that Tang Tang doesn't like small animals, especially the furry and weak ones. When he was younger, I got him a little chick that ended up dying. After that, he never got another pet." "What did you get him?" After nameless Nye sent this message, he sent another red pocket. Yuan Wan accepted the red pocket and noticed it was a hefty one, so she replied. "Famous Yi, that's not true, Tang Tang really likes pets. If you don't believe me, see for yourself. Yi Wanwan then sent the photo of Tang Tang and the big white tiger. The conversation went silent for several minutes before nameless Nya finally replied back. Nya Hollow Pit. What is this thing? Famous Yi, you don't recognize it? Nya Hollow Pit, bullshit, of course I know what it is. Isn't it a tiger? Famous Yi, that's right. Nya Hollow Pit, you actually gave a tiger to Tang Tang as a pet. I really need to kneel. But Tang Tang's smile in that photo does make it seem like he really likes it. It's been such a long time since Tang Tang's looked so happy. He really loved small animals, but because he was scared they were too weak, he decided to distance himself, afraid they would leave him again. Famous Yi, oh right, why are you suddenly so generous? Where did you get so much money? Yi Wanwan curiously asked. Nya Hollow Pit, of course I earned it with my capabilities. Proud, Yi Wanwan stared at nameless Nya's smug emoji with suspicion. Famous Yi, you earned it. Nya Hollow Pit, of course. After having the experience of being an extra last time, I decided to participate in a show. If you don't believe me, see for yourself. Video, Yi Wanwan instantly thought that was impossible. With his acting skills, how could he still participate in a show? Yi Wanwan curiously opened the video nameless Nya sent her. After she finished watching, she was completely stunned. The video really was of a show, and it was an outdoor show that was currently trending. There were a dozen or so obstacles built above water, and participants who could complete the obstacle course won prizes and money. Yi Wanwan watched as the other participants fell into the water, and the fastest one took several minutes. Finally, the last participant appeared in the video. It was a man dressed in all black. He was like the wind. None of the audience members or even the host were able to make out his movements. The fella rushed from the starting point and hit the drum once he reached the end point, leaving behind a first-place record. Yi Wanwan didn't need to guess to know that the fella was nameless Nya. He was really unique to make money like this. Practically. You actually used such heaven-defying martial arts to participate in a kindergarten-level competition, and you still feel proud. Doesn't your conscience feel anything from making money like this? You never thought about how you're going to face those masters from your past. Yi Wanwan felt very speechless and typed some words in reply. Famous Yi, you win, my dear big brother. A historic Chinese politician known for loving only his wife. Chapter 999, 999 My dear big brother. Nameless Nya felt this indescribable feeling in his heart when he saw these words. At that moment, a scene surfaced in his mind. A cute little rice ball wobbling up to him, barely able to pronounce words but still calling out big brother in her milky voice. If he knew that would be the last time he ever saw his little sister, he would have held her little hand and stayed with her longer instead of pushing her aside and running out. After a short moment of reminiscence, nameless Nya let out a sigh and saved the photo from before. To the side, his brick-moving foreigner friend noticed his captain deep in thought and couldn't help but feel surprised. What's wrong with the captain? Spray of flowers touched the little flower on his head and sighed. What else could it be? He misses his sister. The brick-moving foreigner appeared a bit curious. I heard the Nya family had a daughter. Why wasn't the captain's sister raised in the Nya family? Spray of flowers shrugged. I don't know. If the captain hadn't mentioned her, I wouldn't even know he had a sister. After she finished texting, Yi Wanwan set her phone to the side and opened her closet. Her schedule was full today. Before noon, she had to head over to production, then she had a lecture to attend in the afternoon at school. The main lecturer was Li Yu, a guest lecturer at Imperial Media University and the best friend of her grandpa, Yi Hongwei. She met Li Yu at her grandpa's birthday banquet. Li Yu would realize if she didn't show up, so things could get awkward. It was also worth mentioning that Professor Li Yu's lectures were worth listening to. Yi Wanwan changed into men's clothing and also brought a set of women's clothing to change into at school. Si Han needed to attend a banquet that night to receive Mr. Mu. After saying goodbye to Tang Tang, Yu Wanwan and Si Han headed out together. They would attend to their own matters first, then meet up to go to the banquet together. Shortly after the pair split up, Yu Wanwan arrived at the filming location. Imperial Media University. Today, the filming location was right across from her school, which was why she brought the clothes with her. She could change after noon and directly head to her lecture. When Yu Wanwan arrived, they were filming Gong Su and Luo Chen's parts. Han Xianyu played Gong Su's older brother in the film. He played a university professor and had scenes to act out at the school, so everyone was there. Due to the main actor's popularity, even though the filming location was secluded, they were still filming during school hours, so many fans and students were watching in the surrounding area. Gong Su, Gong Su. Luo Chen, I love you. Xianyu. Xianyu, look this way. Oh my god. Little angel Xianyu is so hot in glasses, hh. Yu Wanwan walked over to Han Xianyu and looked at him as he read the script. Han Xianyu's wearing an elegant grey suit and glasses. He's really as handsome as a professor. Luckily, Gong Su and Luo Chen were able to compete with him in the looks department. Otherwise, she wouldn't dare to have Han Xianyu play a supporting role. He would steal all the attention. You came. Han Xianyu noticed Yi Bai had arrived, so he greeted her. Han Xianyu sensed her staring and consciously touched his face. What is it? Is something wrong with my makeup? Yi Wanwan laughed. It's nothing. I just noticed that you're handsome to the next level today. No wonder my little Yen is such a fan. Chapter 1000. Yi Wanwan frequently mentioned Jiang Yen ran in front of Han Xianyu and asked for a limited edition signature from him, so he had some recollection of her. Your classmate? Han Xianyu asked. Yi Wanwan sighed. Yeah. I really pity her boyfriend, he'll always come second. Yi Wanwan was laughing when her phone rang. It was a phone call from the crazed fan. Yi Wanwan shrugged helplessly. Speak of the devil, your little fangirl is calling. Go work, I'm going to take this call, go. Han Xianyu chuckled. Yi Wanwan walked to a spot with nobody in the vicinity and answered the phone. Hello, Yen Are, hh. Wanwan, Han Xianyu is coming to film at our school today, did you know? Too bad I have class all morning so I can't go. Naturally, it was Jiang Yen Ran's excited voice coming from the phone. Yi Wanwan helplessly replied, calm down, if you're going to be like this, a certain someone will be eating vinegar. Yi Wanwan was about to say that when a familiar voice came from the phone. Wanwan Jie. I don't have class so I can go. Once I take some pictures, I'll share them with you and Yen Ran. I'm all ready. Yi Wanwan felt that this voice was even more excited than Jiang Yen Ran and she was at a loss for words. Alright, I gotta pretend I didn't say anything. Ah, how hurtful. My boyfriend should learn from other people's boyfriends. After Yi Wanwan finished the call, she went back and saw that Gong Su and Luo Chen's makeup was done. Gong Su was holding a mirror seriously as he looked at his reflection. Ah, I wonder which girl will be lucky enough to marry me, Yi Wanwan, that's enough. Once Gong Su saw Yi Wanwan, he immediately ran over to show off. Oh. Yi Ji, you came. Come, take a look at me. Aren't I especially handsome today? Won't all the girls who see me want to marry me? How about you take a photo of me and show it to little Candied Plum? Isn't it possible she'll become my fan once she sees it? Gong Su's role was a university student, so he was currently wearing basketball clothes. His hair was unruly and blonde, so he appeared physically fit and youthful. His role in the film was an arrogant rich playboy and he also a school prince who was still likable. Yi Wanwan couldn't help but admit that Gong Su's costume was really good. Gong Su was well suited for this role. Simply looking at him made her suddenly feel as though it was Xue Xiaoyang standing before her. Luo Chen also didn't disappoint. Ever since he came under her wing, he constantly trained and worked out. He currently appeared captivating in his vest and black training pants. His mannerisms were more similar to a cheetah's than a human's, he seemed aggressive and piercing. Yi Wanwan ignored Gong Su's last comment and looked at them both with satisfaction. Not bad. This suits you too. Gong Su murmured unhappily, Yi, when you praise me, praise only me. Why did you have to include him? Yi Wanwan glanced at him nonchalantly. Then when you said you were going to eat shit by yourself. Why did you suddenly feel the need to include Luo Chen? Gong Su instantly appeared guilty but still sounded as though he was in the right when he replied, Yi, didn't you tell me to act close to him in public and to avoid conflicts? Don't we appear very close? Yi Wanwan, your way of expressing your closeness is really unique. Chapter 1001, 1001 Gong Su smiled as he put his hand on Luo Chen's shoulder. Good brother of mine, when there is good fortune, we must share it together. You don't need to thank me. Luo Chen silently swatted a certain someone's hand off. Yi Wanwan waved her hand with disapproval. Don't play around anymore. Go get ready, you're both about to film. The two went to prepare themselves and Yi Wanwan returned to where Han Xianyu was sitting, waiting for the filming to begin. In the film, Gong Su played the young master Xue Xiaoyang, who was from a rich family, while Luo Chen played Xinyu, a sniper from a special forces unit. Filming began from when Xue Xiaoyang first met Xinyu's little sister and kept sticking to her like a stalker, causing him to develop a bad relationship with Xinyu. After the Xue family noticed how Xue Xiaoyang wasn't ever focused on studying and was becoming even more disobedient, they decided to send him to train with the unit with their family's soldiers. Once he entered the unit, Xue Xiaoyang met Xinyu for the second time. If this film went the youthful idol route, their box office sales wouldn't be too bad judging by the looks of the cast. But due to Yi Wanwan's ambitions, her goal went beyond the box office. In her previous life, Tange and Xian made a lot of severe cuts in the film for the box office, so the remainder of the film that was released only contained some romance between Xue Xiaoyang and Xinyu's little sister. Yi Wanwan took a different route and instead, she kept most of the original script where the focus was on the two male leads while the female lead became a supporting character. The majority of the film focused on the process of Xue Xiaoyang entering the unit and becoming an elite soldier from his original rich playboy self. The scene that was going to be filmed today was when Xue Xiaoyang was hanging out with his sleazy friends and harassing a first-year female student. Coincidentally, this female student was the little sister of Luo Chen's character, Xinyu. Xinyu had just returned home to visit that day and went to the school to see his sister. He then encountered Xue Xiaoyang and his friends harassing his sister and the two parties fought. Xinyu protectively placed his sister behind him and angrily rushed forward to beat up the others. Xue Xiaoyang had a vain and frivolous expression as he sneered at Xinyu. Hey, even if you're Xinying's older brother, you can't interfere with her feelings. What if she likes me and has feelings for me? If you hit me, won't she feel hurt? Xue Xiaoyang was being ridiculous and overbearing, causing the nerves on Xinyu's face to nearly explode from anger. At that moment, Xue Xiaoyang glanced at Xining and asked with a smirk, fellow student, you're sure you really don't like me? A breeze passed by and the youth's light smirk under the cherry blossom tree was a truly romantic and dreamlike sequence. What girl could resist such temptation? Xining was no exception. The young girl was blushing red on both cheeks and she lowered her head as she was pulled away by her older brother. After walking a short distance, Xining couldn't help turning back for a glance. In her eyes, it was clear she had left her heart behind. The playful Xue Xiaoyang seemed as though he expected she would look back and he instantly broke out into a smile. This scene emphasized Xue Xiaoyang's personality and the most detestable aspect of it was how Gong Su was able to fully bring out Xue Xiaoyang's arrogant, vain, and overbearing nature. Clearly, he was in the wrong and made no sense, but he was able to correct the wrong into a right through his words. The line he said to Xining especially made people's hearts flutter. On camera, the youth was overbearing, but with his fresh outfit, dazzling good looks, and high-spirited attitude, people couldn't look away. Yi Wanwan was nodding with satisfaction as she observed the scene. She hadn't wasted her efforts on Gong Su. Chapter 1002. After filming ended, the surrounding fans and students began to excitedly scream non-stop. Gong Su's so handsome. I'm about to pass out. Who said my Gong Su can't act? They must be blind, right? I came just for my little angel Xianyu, but how did I end up falling for Gong Su? This can't be right, can't be right. I need to save myself for my little angel Xianyu. I can't cheat on him like this. Oh. I can't hold back. I'm sorry. Great. Cut, the director shouted. Filming was done in one take. The director kept giving praise. Not bad, not bad. The acting was very natural without any flaws, especially for Gong Su. Ahahaha. I already said it before. This young master is really a genius. Isn't my work worthy of a golden orchid? So easy. Yiji, you don't need to worry about my acting anymore. After hearing everyone's praise, Gong Su's smile was so wide that it reached his ears. Yi Wanwan sighed as she watched from afar. This guy really thinks they're praising him. Earlier on, Yi Wanwan helped him go over the script several times. This scene matched his personality completely, so of course there were no flaws in his acting. Yi Wanwan already predicted that much. The trickier parts were in the second half. Han Xianyu set down the script in his hands and said to Yi Wanwan, "There's a lot of potential in this film and there's even hopes of winning an award. It's not impossible that he wins a golden orchid for best actor." Han Xianyu said that before helplessly adding another sentence. Of course, I'm talking about Luo Chen. This film had 2 male leads and Luo Chen wasn't bad as long as Gong Su didn't drag his hind legs. Looking purely at Luo Chen's acting, he had a shot at the award. Yi Wanwan rubbed her chin and suddenly said, "Xianyu, in the history of the Golden Orchid, has there ever been a precedent of a film winning 2 awards for Best Actor?" Han Xianyu was stunned. That's never happened before. Although there's several movies with 2 male leads making the cut, it's never happened before. Even if there are 2 male leads in a film, there can only be 1. You're not thinking, Han Xianyu never imagined Yi Wanwan actually carried such hopes. Not only did she want the Best Actor award for her film, but she wanted 2. Yi Wanwan smirked. We'll have to see if Gong Su is willing to put in the effort. As for Luo Chen, he has about an 80% chance. Han Xianyu laughed. You're that confident about Luo Chen? Yi Wanwan appeared smug. Of course. I groomed him personally. Han Xianyu then asked, what about me? Yi Wanwan sighed. You received a golden orchid when you were 18 and the film you debuted in was received extremely well. Last year, you were even nominated for a national film. You've already left the rookie group and are considered a veteran with talent. There's nothing more I can do to help you. Why do I suddenly understand Si Han's words from earlier? The nomination for the film last year was because of you. You were the one who made me decide to choose that film, Han Xianyu replied. Aside from that, Yi Bai also gave him other reminders. During those times, he wasn't even her artist. He was only a friend. She helped him countless times, she just never took it to heart. After Han Xianyu finished saying that, he changed the topic back to Gong Su. The scene Gong Su just did was very good, but as for the latter half, I'm afraid, Yi Wanwan peered at Gong Su and smiled. After the first half of the film is done, I prepared a training camp of hell for Gong Su. Chapter 1003 SSS Gong Su, who was completely engrossed in his own acting skills, suddenly felt chills running down his back. However, Gong Su didn't pay any attention to that and cheerfully skipped toward Yi Wanwan to be praised. Brother Yi, did you see? Don't my acting skills deserve a Best Actors? Not bad, good job. Yi Wanwan's face was full of grandmotherly kindness without revealing any of her true feelings. Gong Su turned boastful immediately. Ha ha ha, Luo Chen, just follow my lead without any worry. With my skills, I'll certainly win that bet. Luo Chen, I can't relax at all, alright. Emperor Sky Entertainment, General Manager's Office. In dealing with Tan Jinshin's incident, Yi Yi had been utterly exhausted lately from making all sorts of apologies and handling the media. With the truth laid bare, Emperor Sky Entertainment had no choice but to publish an apology statement, announce that the shooting of the movie would be stopped, and give Su Lin his deserved compensation. Ending the shooting of the movie caused quite substantial damage to them since all the promotion and pre-shooting preparations they made at the beginning all went down the drain. Originally, this movie was estimated to be quite profitable. Now, not only did they not earn a single cent, but they also had to lose a large sum of money. I was too careless and didn't expect to fall into Yimu Fan's trap, Yi Yi was self-reproaching. Gu Yuze embraced her delicate body and gently comforted her. Don't blame yourself. It's just money. It's nothing to Emperor Sky. As for our reputation, the one who stole the script was Tan Jinshin, we can't be blamed for our oversight. It won't cause too big of an impact on us. Yi Yi's eyes darkened. However, that script is now in Yimu Fan's hands. The good script she picked with great effort landed in their opponent's hands, and they basically helped their opponent promote for free. How could she be happy with that? Gu Yuze was unconcerned. When Su Lin gave them the script, one of the requirements was to be completely loyal to the script. And you've seen the original script. If it isn't altered, do you think anyone would accept the depressing and suffocating plot near the end and the tragic ending? A wasteful young master like Yimu Fan doesn't know the current movie market at all. Soon, he'll find out this isn't a career he can succeed in simply because he wants to. Don't worry. I've already invited top producer, Rong Junwei, to come back and remake the movie that made him famous, that summer. As soon as Yi Yi heard Rong Junwei's name, surprise and joy filled her face. He was the king of the box office and the godfather of idol dramas. He had once achieved miracles in the box office. Yi Yi looked at the man in front of her with great admiration and coquettishly leaned into his arms. Yuze, thank goodness I have you. I wouldn't know what to do otherwise. Then Yi Yi continued, Yuze, although you're merely the interim general manager right now, grandfather is old now, and my father. You know him. He really doesn't have much experience in management and completely relies on the expensive people grandfather hired from overseas to manage things for him. I'm father's only daughter, so in the end, our Yi family will have to rely on you. In other words, the Yi family would belong to her in the future, which basically meant it would belong to the son-in-law, Gu Yuze. Gu Yuze's eyes glinted, and he gently said, don't worry. Your business is my business. Although I'm only an interim manager, I'll do my best. Just leave the rest to me. You can just happily wait to become my bride. Chapter 1004. Yi Yi concealed the sharp glint in her eyes and blissfully nodded. Yes. She didn't care at all whether the Yi family's family property would end up in the hands of an outsider. After all, being the mistress of the Gu family was much better than being the eldest miss of the Yi family. As for the senior management and shareholders of the Yi family, they didn't care whether the one in charge of the Yi family was Yi Hongwei's grandson or his grandson-in-law. They only cared whether he would help them earn more money and obtain more profits. Hence, she had to team up with Gu Yuze and try to take control of the Yi family as soon as possible. Otherwise, once her true background was exposed, she would lose everything. Her plan was smooth sailing at first, but then Yi Mufan unexpectedly changed and became smarter. However, that was fine. It might be hard to conspire against Yi Mufan, but it was too easy to trick that idiot, Yi Wanwan. It was impossible for Yi Mufan to watch over her 24/7. The following few scenes were shot very successfully. Yi Wanwan naturally didn't forget to get something for a certain fan. After obtaining permission from Han Xianyu, she dug out her Polaroid and found a perfect angle before snapping a photo of him in his professor clothes. Then, she had Han Xianyu sign the photo for her. On the side, jealousy bubbled in Gong Su, and he sneakily slid over. Brother Yi, why don't you want my signed photo? Could it be that you don't have any friends who are fans of me? That's illogical. Yi Wanwan raised her brows. Your fan? That's right. Think carefully, you must have some. Gong Su was completely serious. Yi Wanwan pondered over it carefully before saying, I think there really is one. Gong Su was instantly satisfied. Aha, I knew it. Come, take a photo of me. I'll give you a fancy autograph. Yi Wanwan had no choice but to take a few photos of Gong Su as well. Gong Su happily signed his name with a flourish. Brother Yi, which friend of yours has such excellent taste? Yi Wanwan replied, Oh, you've met her. She came to the shoot to stand guard last time, Jiao. Gong Su's hand trembled, and the pen he was holding fell to the ground with a clang. His face turned ashen. He swallowed and said, Brother Yi, I suddenly realized my acting skills are too awful and don't deserve to be liked by fans at all. I'm going to read the script. After saying that, he snatched all his signed photos back and crushed them into a ball. Then, he shot to a chair some distance away like a bolt of lightning and read his script studiously. Are you for real? Wah! Why's Brother Xianyu's fan a cute girl while my fan is so scary? Thankfully, he escaped fast enough. Yi Wanwan's lips twitched slightly as she watched Gong Su fleeing. It was a rarity that there was a girl he didn't dare to flirt with. The remaining scenes today merely needed Gong Su to be himself, so there shouldn't be any more problems. Hence, Yi Wanwan glanced at the time on her phone and said, I have plans later, so I'll be leaving now. Han Xianyu nodded. Alright, go on. The ears of Gong Su, who was pretending to be studious, twitched, and he instantly rolled back over there when he heard that. Huh? Brother Yi, you won't keep watching? I still have scenes in the afternoon. If you leave, you'll affect my passion for acting. Yi Wanwan grinned. You're so awesome, so I'm not worried, and I don't need to keep watch. Ha, Brother Yi, you're right. Don't worry about me then. I'll definitely be fine. Do your best then. Chapter 1005. After greeting everyone, Yi Wanwan returned to the car and changed her clothes and makeup. Professor Li Yu's seminar was held in the Multimedia Hall located on the east side of Imperial Media University. When Yi Wanwan arrived, a majority of the seats inside were taken already, so she was met by a sea of people. Aside from the actual students of the university, there were also many students from other universities who came, so the hall was abnormally lively. When Yi Wanwan reached the entrance to the hall abruptly turned silent for a second before erupting into a clamor, and countless pairs of eyes landed on her. Shit! What major is that beauty in? How come I've never seen her? Our university has a beauty like her. Why didn't I know? Is she an entertainer who's already made her first public performance and doesn't attend classes often? If she's an entertainer, there's no way we wouldn't know about her. Yi Wanwan spotted an empty seat in the third to last row. She walked over and sat down. She was naturally aware of the stares and discussions around her. Back when she first attended senior high school, she was ridiculed everywhere she went. But now that she changed her appearance, she received an instant change in treatment. Yi Wanwan had just sat down, but there was already a guy trying to hit on her. Hey, beautiful, what major are you studying? How come I haven't seen you before? How about we exchange WeChat information? Before the guy finished speaking, a girl's furious voice was heard from the side. Su Changdong. Do you want to die? The guy was instantly startled. Ka Fuya, didn't you say you weren't coming today? So you think you can flirt with girls behind my back, huh? As the girl spoke, she glared at Yi Wanwan on high alert. The guy exclaimed, embarrassed, no. I was merely curious since I didn't know her. What's there to be curious about? There are plenty of people like her at our school. There are even run-of-the-mill girls like that in the neighboring school. They rely on the fact that they look a little pretty, so they're preoccupied with trying to hook some rich men every day. How would they have the time to attend classes? Naturally, you don't know her, the girl snapped irritably. Having been accused of living off a rich man for no reason, Yu Wanwan raised her eyebrows slightly. Beauty, I don't seem to have ever offended you. The girl angrily retorted promptly, not having offended me. You were seducing my boyfriend. The guy hurriedly tried to smooth things over. Honey, don't be mad, don't be mad. Sigh, I like a girl who's intelligent with good grades like you. How could I take a liking to Barbie dolls like her? I was really asking offhand just now. That's right, Yuya. Don't be angry. Many people on the side also piped in. Their expressions were very disdainful when they looked at Yu Wanwan. Yu Wanwan was quite speechless too. As if it wasn't enough that she was discriminated against for being ugly back then, but she was still being discriminated against now. So what if I'm good-looking? Why can't I have good grades despite being good-looking? Do I deserve to be discriminated against simply because I'm good-looking? Thankfully, Professor Lee entered right then. The hall regained its silence, and Yu Wanwan could finally focus on listening to the seminar. Students, everyone, hello. I'm very happy to have received an invitation to hold this seminar. The topic I want to talk about today is emergency public relations. I'll summarize a few classic case studies from corporations and the entertainment industry from recent years and launch a discussion with you students. Professor Lee's seminar was very interesting. It was different from how most other people like to talk about theory and knowledge. There was a lot of practical information in his seminar, and he cited classic examples from real life. Hence, all the students listened with keen interest, and even Yu Wanwan gained a lot from it. Soon enough, more than an hour had quickly passed. On the stage, Professor Lee glanced over everyone. I have another example here that I'd really like to discuss with everyone. Does everyone here know about the Han Xianyu molesting a young girl scandal? Chapter 1006. Upon hearing this, Yu Wanwan looked up from her notebook at once. I never imagined that my actions would one day appear in Professor Lee's lessons. It felt quite magical. Of course I know. That scandal was such a large commotion back then. I bet there's no one here who doesn't know, right? Han Xianyu was truly wronged. Thank goodness the whole truth was revealed in the end. The students beneath the stage all started to talk. Professor Lee nodded. Who will analyze this case? The girl named Yuya appeared to want to raise her hand, eager to give it a try. However, Professor Lee paused on the stage, and his gaze shot straight toward Yu Wanwan's direction, evidently noticing her. When the birthday banquet was held, Li Yu lavished her with praise and nearly started a brawl with Zhou Qinggang, the board member of Imperial City University, while fighting over her. Upon seeing that Yu Wanwan was attending his seminar, Li Yu was naturally very pleased. Hence, he said with a slight smile, "Oh, I seem to have spotted Imperial Media's top entering student this year, student Yu Wanwan." What? Yu Wanwan? Upon hearing this name, every student present revealed an excited and astonished expression. Yu Wanwan was the top scorer on the university entrance examination for liberal arts of her year in Imperial City. Imperial Media University and Imperial City University both fought over her violently, but Yu Wanwan chose Imperial Media in the end. All of Imperial Media University knew about this. Unfortunately, after Yu Wanwan entered the university, neither head nor tail of her could be seen. Aside from appearing for every exam and some key subjects, she was rarely seen. All everyone knew was that after entering the university, she continued receiving scholarships for being number one in her grade, and she even applied for early graduation. Damn, that legendary female top student also came today. The guy who flirted with Yu Wanwan earlier also became a bit excited, but he didn't dare to be too obvious with his girlfriend by his side. I heard she's super impressive. She doesn't come to class but still gets number one in every subject. Just who is it? Everyone in the hall instantly followed Li Yu's line of sight. Hearing herself being mentioned by name by Professor Li, Yu Wanwan hurriedly stood up from her seat. I thought I would be called upon by Professor Lee today. Good thing I came. The guy noticed someone suddenly standing up next to him. It was the beautiful woman he suggestively hit on earlier. His face immediately froze. She is. Next to him, his girlfriend, who had been clinging onto his arm saccharinely, was also startled. Why did this girl stand up? Professor Lee. Yi Wanwan greeted him after standing up. Professor Lee nodded a few times in succession. Quite good, quite good. Well then, student Yi Wanwan, how about you analyze it for us? Upon hearing Professor Lee's suggestion, the girlfriend's face instantly turned ashen and filled with astonishment. This girl is actually Yi Wanwan. The multimedia hall erupted with discussion. Shit! That beauty who entered earlier is actually the legendary top student at our school, Yi Wanwan. Yi Wanwan is actually this good-looking. This is simply illogical. This case was created by Yi Wanwan herself, so there was probably no one who understood it better than herself. After Yi Wanwan stood up, she fluently analyzed the case study from start to end. Everyone was originally suspicious that something was amiss, but after hearing her textbook answer, all doubts evaporated. Chapter 1007. After Yi Wanwan sat back down, the guy next to her felt like he was sitting on needles while the girl also didn't look too good. She actually called Yi Wanwan a Barbie earlier and even said she was one of those girls who didn't ever attend class and relied on their beauty to live off rich men. What actually happened was that she was the top student two well-known universities violently fought over and she applied for early graduation. The students near them all witnessed her jealously fighting over her boyfriend earlier, so they were all currently pointing at her and laughing. The girl couldn't sit any longer. She stood up with her books with a dreadful expression and tugged on her boyfriend. Let's go. Why are you still foolishly sitting here? Oh, the man also stood up while awkwardly scratching his head. Classmate Yi, sorry, the guy hastily said this and chased after his girlfriend. The other students in the hall were all sighing. Even the attractiveness of a bookworm is so off the charts these days. How should us normal people get by? Give us some room for survival. I originally thought she was someone from the nearby Imperial Films coming to freeload on the seminar. After the seminar ended, Li Yu pulled Yi Wanwan to the side and started chatting with her fervently. Wanwan, how have you been lately? I heard you don't come to school often. What are you busy with? Li Yu asked with concern. Professor Li, calling me Grandpa will do. No need to be so unfamiliar. Li Yu said with feigned anger. Yi Wanwan coughed lightly and helplessly corrected herself. Grandpa Li, I've been interning at my brother's place lately. Li Yu nodded while chuckling. Pretty good, pretty good. No matter how much you learn, it won't compare to practical application. If that punk of mine was half as hardworking and responsible as you, I wouldn't be so worried. Upon hearing Professor Lee's thread of conversation, Yi Wanwan suddenly discovered with alarm that something wasn't quite right. As expected, she promptly heard Li Yu saying, Wanwan, when are you free to come to Grandpa Lee's place for a meal? That punk of mine just happens to be coming home next month. I can have him take good care of you. Yi Wanwan was rendered speechless. While Professor Lee was flawless at teaching, he was obviously not so adept at matchmaking. This is too stiff, isn't it? Yi Wanwan replied. Cough I'm not too sure, I've been quite busy at the company lately, not a problem, not a problem. Your work and academics are more important, we can talk about it when you have time. That punk of mine just graduated, so he's free any time. Yi Wanwan found it hard to continue the conversation, so she randomly made up some excuse and hastily retreated. How sinful. She merely made a trip to the school, but she was hit on one moment and match made the next moment. There were simply landmines everywhere. After finally throwing Li Yu off her tail with great difficulty and running out of the multimedia hall, Yi Wanwan's phone started ringing. The caller was Si Yihan. Hey! Yi Wanwan's voice sounded guilty for no reason. It had only been a short period of time, but how many times had she broken the rules and provoked the opposite sex? It's finished. His deep voice came through the phone. Yes, just finished. Coming to your place now. I'm at the entrance of your school. I'll take you to get styled, Si Yihan said. Oh, alright. I'll head over now. Yi Wanwan hung up the phone and sprinted toward the entrance to the school. When Yi Wanwan approached the entrance, she could see a black car whose brand she couldn't discern. It was parked there, low profile. Si Yihan was waiting for her while leaning against the car door. What was unfortunate was that as Yi Wanwan walked towards Si Yihan, several guys started hitting on her. Chapter 1008, Classmate Yi, let's exchange our WeChat information and study together. Classmate Yi, I'm also from the advertising program. Are you interested in joining our club? Classmate Yi, let me tell you about drama club. Brothers, please stop talking to me. My life is on the line. Yi Wanwan quickly spoke up, sorry, my boyfriend is waiting for me. How about next time I'm free? Boyfriend? She actually has a boyfriend already. The guys who struck up a conversation were all shocked before quickly revealing incredibly disappointed expressions. After Yi Wanwan narrowly escaped those people, she miserably ran towards Si Yihan. Yi Wanwan was currently wearing a simple white dress and wasn't wearing any other accessories. However, her looks were simply too outstanding. Her skin was fair like snow, her features were as pretty as a picture, and the slightly upturned corners of her eyes were like peach blossoms. Si Yihan was well aware of the type of look all those men had when they surrounded her and looked at her. They were coveting his prized possession. Let's go. Did you wait a long time? Yi Wanwan asked as she observed his expression. Just arrived. Si Yihan opened the car door. His mood couldn't be discerned from his face. After getting in the car, Si Yihan told the driver, Su-yi, go to the shopping center first. Yes, ninth master. Su-yi started the engine, not daring to breathe. What a tragedy. If I had known, I would have driven slower. Who could have known we would run into Miss Wanwan being hit on by a group of men? It's still early. We'll go buy some clothes first then get you styled, Si Yihan said as he read a finance and economics magazine, as though nothing happened earlier. Yi Wanwan looked at her fingers while also peering at his expressionless profile. She cautiously probed, Ajo, are you angry? Si Yihan carelessly stroked his fingers and coolly glanced at her. Why would I be angry? Si Yihan purposefully played ignorant and pretended nothing happened. However, only he knew the truth. She probably underestimated how ugly that beast inside of him was. A single extra glance at her and he would treat others like competition. To say nothing of using that type of gaze to look at her and speak to her right in front of him. He naturally knew how vile, how selfish, and how unbearable his own thoughts were. His nearly perverted possessiveness actually hadn't changed at all from the beginning until now. He simply didn't want to alarm her. He simply was too greedy for her smile, so he learned to conceal himself little by little. No matter how calm and aloof he looked on the surface, his insides were extremely rotten. Yi Wanwan secretly assessed Si Yihan. In truth, Si Yihan's temper really kept improving these days. If it weren't for the fact that she could instinctively sense his mood after knowing him for so long, she might have really been deceived by him. After hearing Si Yihan's response, Yi Wanwan immediately said without hesitation, righteously indignant, You aren't angry? You aren't angry, but I'm angry. Then she pointed at her neck and fierily urged him, Quick. Si Yihan's brows knitted slightly, not understanding her intentions. What? Yi Wanwan anxiously said, Quickly stamp me. There's always someone coveting your darling. So infuriating. Si Yihan was startled at first and looked at her fair neck inattentively. Then the feigned indifference and calmness on his face melted little by little. It was like a small flower blossomed from the ashes of his dead and decayed insides. Su-yi, who was driving in the front, Miss Wanwan's pacifying methods. I could write an epic about them. Chapter 1009, 1009 Yi Wanwan had zero problems with calling herself Si Yihan's little darling. She boldly and confidently urged him, "Hurry, hurry." Seeing her animated face, a fire flared up from the bottom of Si Yihan's glacial eyes. His gaze lingered on her fair and graceful neck. Then his fingers gently caressed the side of her face and he slowly got closer with downcast eyes. "That's unnecessary," but, as he said that, he gently ran his lips over the side of her neck. His warm lips sucked her exquisite skin. But he was very willing to fulfill this request. "Look away from indecency." In the front, Sui quickly raised the divider in the middle to avoid overeating. The black car slowly drove away from the school. The current Yi Wanwan had no idea Han Xianyu was stopped on the street across from Imperial Media University since who knew when, and was intently watching the direction they left in. His face was exceptionally foul-looking. "Xianyu, what is it?" Fei Yang, Han Xianyu's manager, asked suspiciously. Just now, Han Xianyu was about to leave after finishing the shooting, but he suddenly stopped when the car drove away from the school. Currently, Han Xianyu's expression was shifting unpredictably. He just saw Yi Bai's boyfriend at the entrance of the school picking up a female student and getting into the car with her. The two of them hadn't had any indecent interactions, and he only saw the man opening the car door for the girl. Maybe they were merely friends or relatives. Thinking that, Han Xianyu originally planned to leave, but he felt uneasy, so he ended up saying, "Brother Yang, please follow that black car up ahead." "Huh? Follow that car for what?" Fei Yang didn't understand. "Don't ask, just do it quickly." "Oh, all right then." Fei Yang understood Han Xianyu well and knew he wasn't the type of person to act recklessly, so he must have said that for a reason. Hence, he hurriedly did as he was told and started the engine to follow the car. At the largest luxury goods shopping center in Imperial City, Han Xianyu followed them until they reached the underground parking lot of Parkson Plaza. There were a lot of cars, so his tailing didn't elicit the other party's attention. "Hey, Xianyu, just who's inside that car ahead? Why are we following them?" Fei Yang was completely baffled and didn't understand why Han Xianyu started acting like paparazzi. Han Xianyu didn't respond. He was intently focused on the car ahead of them. He saw the two people inside the car getting out together. This time, the girl was hugging the man's arm, and their unusual relationship became apparent. Quickly, the man and girl walked toward the elevator and rode the elevator to the shopping center. When Han Xianyu saw that man with another woman at the theater last time, he already felt something was amiss. However, Yi Bai explained she was a woman he knew before they were in a relationship, so he didn't say anything more. However, what was going on this time? Could that man be deceiving Yi Bai and secretly maintaining contact with that woman? Yi Bai liked him so much and was even willing to ignore the pressure of societal norms. The more Han Xianyu thought about it, the angrier he got. Without any further thoughts, he picked up the mask and sunglasses next to him and swiftly opened the door, following them. He had to confirm this. It'd be best if it was a misunderstanding, but if it wasn't. Fei Yang was terrified when he saw his actions. "Hey, Xianyu. What are you doing? Are you crazy?" Han Xianyu was a public figure. If he appeared in such a public place and was recognized, it would certainly cause chaos. "Brother Yang, I'll be fine." The typically rational Han Xianyu didn't pay attention to Fei Yang's advice this time. Chapter 10:10 To prevent being recognized by fans, Han Xianyu couldn't walk around freely. He had to find an upper-level terrace with a broad view and watch from there. Although he had to watch from a distance and couldn't follow them, he could see the duo's interactions clearly. Si Yihan and Yi Wanwan were acting like a couple in their honeymoon phase. Because the couple had more than enough time, they started wandering through the shopping center and bought some snacks from the food stalls now and then. They fed each other, bite by bite. When they finished strolling around, Yi Wanwan went with Si Yihan to pick up her gown from the place he reserved it. Fei Yang watched as the man and woman, who Han Xianyu was tracking, entered a certain famous private styling club. He looked at the couple, then at Han Xianyu, whose expression was concealed under his sunglasses and mask, with a face of terror. Xianyu, why do I feel like you're catching your partner cheating? Could it be that you like that girl? Shit. Xianyu, you couldn't have started a relationship without telling me, right? Han Xianyu stared at the store and replied offhandedly, I didn't. Oh, that's good, that's good. You gave me a scare. If you do enter a relationship, you must tell me beforehand. I won't be able to handle it properly otherwise. Fei Yang patted his chest with fear. But if you aren't catching your partner cheating, what's going on? Han Xianyu didn't say anything. His mind was a mess. The only thought dominating his mind was, if this is true, what should I do, how should I tell Yi Bai? However, he retained a tinge of wishful thinking. Perhaps that girl was his relative, like a younger sister or something. SPE Styling Club, Guan Xiaohe, a woman in her 30s wearing the most fashionable clothes who was the top stylist there, had already been waiting for a long time. The store manager, Zhuo Shangjing, also rushed back from abroad and made a rare appearance. They had closed the store for today. After all, a person like Si Yihan couldn't be seen by ordinary people, but to their surprise, he was coming to their store personally. Hence, they had to prudently receive him today. Originally, the store manager, Zhuo Shangjing, was going to personally style the guest today. However, Si Yihan's assistant specifically requested a female stylist, so this job fell onto Guan Xiaohe's shoulders. Special Assistant Su, may I ask when Chairman Si is arriving? Zhuo Shangjing inquired. Su Yi naturally wouldn't be a third wheel, so he came straight to the store and waited there. When he heard Zhuo Shangjing, he answered, Ninth Master is shopping with his girlfriend, but he should be arriving soon. Zhuo Shangjing, Guan Xiaohe, and the other stylists in the store were all surprised, as though they never expected a great character like Si Yihan to personally go shopping with his girlfriend. As the appointment time drew closer, footsteps were heard outside the door, and a couple entered the store. The girl possessed skin fairer than snow and extremely gorgeous looks, while the man was extraordinarily handsome and had an impressive presence. However, the girl was dressed leisurely and had an ice cream cone in one hand and a cup of milk tea in the other hand, whereas the man was helping her carry a plethora of bags that contained snacks and clothes. Excuse me, Miss and Mr., our store isn't open today, is what Guan Xiaohe wanted to tell them, when she unexpectedly saw Su Yi standing up and swiftly welcoming the ordinary couple. Ninth Master, the formal clothes are ready, and the stylist has arrived. When Guan Xiaohe and the other people heard Su Yi talking, they were all stunned. They never would have expected this couple to be Si Yihan and his girlfriend. They thought Si Yihan's arrival would be accompanied by an entourage. Who could have guessed he would be so down to earth and even help his girlfriend carry her bags and snacks? Chapter 1011, 1011 N. Si Yihan nodded before taking the ice cream and milk tea. Yi Wanwan was absorbed in and said, go try on the clothes. One more bite. There's still one last bite. Yi Wanwan wasn't satisfied until she ate the last bite of ice cream from Si Yihan's hand. Chairman Si. Good afternoon, Chairman Si. Guan Xiaohe and the other people were stunned for a few seconds before they all hurriedly greeted him at once. May I ask, how should I address you, miss? Guan Xiaohe asked carefully. Hello, my surname is Yi. Yi Wanwan replied. Guan Xiaohe, greetings, Miss Yi. Yi Wanwan evaluated the stylist in front of her. You are Guan Xiaohe, Teacher Guan. Guan Xiaohe quickly responded, yes, I'm your stylist today, Guan Xiaohe. Do you know me, Miss Yi? Yi Wanwan said, of course I do. You and Mr. Zhuo are very famous in the industry. Although Guan Xiaohe was barely over 30, she had done makeup and styling for many famous A-listers and was well experienced. Furthermore, the store manager of this shop, Zhuo Shangjing, was internationally renowned, and even Yi Mufan revered him a lot. Zhuo Shangjing was currently Xie Zhiji's appointed personal stylist. Yi Wanwan didn't expect that a few casual mentions of SPE Styling Club in front of Si Yihan would make him help her book an appointment with a stylist here. Only. Sigh, He didn't help her reserve Zhuo Shangjing as expected. When Guan Xiaohe and Zhuo Shangjing saw Yi Wanwan's polite and humble demeanor, they gained a favorable impression of her. After chatting with Guan Xiaohe and Zhuo Shangjing briefly, Yi Wanwan went to the fitting room to change into her gown. The gown was entirely prepared by Si Yihan, and she didn't even have measurements done. She was originally worried it wouldn't fit, but after trying it on, she realized it fit quite well. Si Yihan's selection had zero room for criticism. However, the style of this gown was a bit surprising for her. Although the design was a bit reserved, it didn't affect its beauty at all. Sparkling beads were inlaid, giving it a dreamlike but also elegant quality under the lights. Meanwhile, the small details on it, like the rose embroidered onto the neckline, preserved the charming and adorable characteristics of her age. Outside the fitting room, Guan Xiaohe suddenly remembered something and said, the zipper on Miss Ye's gown might require assistance. Just as she said that, Yi Wanwan's voice was heard from the room. Ajio, help me with my zipper. Si Yihan naturally stood up from the sofa and walked over to help his girlfriend with her zipper. Outside the door, Guan Xiaohe's face was filled with admiration as she looked at the man who was imposing but also handsome like a god. Although Si Yihan wasn't someone they could interact with at their level, there was an overabundance of rumors about him in Imperial City. The most common type of rumor was that he didn't go near women and was bloodthirsty and cruel. Some people also said he didn't make public appearances because he was too ugly. Guan Xiaohe never would have imagined he looked like this in reality. He might appear cold and indifferent, but he clearly spoiled his girlfriend beyond belief. Also, he was so handsome. A moment later, Yi Wanwan finally finished changing and sat down in front of the dressing table to have her makeup and hair done. For the most part, Guan Xiaohe did the hands-on work while Zhuo Shangjing stood on the side to watch over them and make suggestions. Miss Yi, your skin is too good. I barely have to do anything. I just put on some foundation for you and gave you some warm tone makeup to match your gown. See if you like it. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.